Hey guys, welcome back to the Homestead, and today we're going to get to check something off his honey to-do list. I've only been asking for this for I think 3 years, but he's going to build my Christmas tree box that you see here. So here you go.
What's awesome is I only need 1x3s and a sheet of 5mm plywood to make this Christmas tree box. So the first step is to cut all the 1x3s to the proper length. For those long pieces I can use my stop block, but the shorter pieces I have to measure and cut individually. I measure once and then I use that piece as a pattern to finish out and cut every other piece. So that way I don't have to, if I mess up a 1/16 of an inch off, 32nd of an inch off, every cut, it works out. It works out okay. So after all the pieces are cut, I'm marking out a 3/8 inch offset. I'm going to drill pocket holes in these, and then I'm going to screw these short pieces into the long ones on the top. I'm going to be cutting a rabbet in all around the inside or the back side of these frames, I guess is what I'm going to call them from here on out. And obviously you can't run a router bit through a screw. So it's a 3/8 inch rabbet, mark that 3/8 inch offset, and now I don't have to worry about hitting anything with these pocket holes. I am making 2 of these at one time, or at least I start out that way. Toward the end of the video, you'll see me only working on one. I got a limited amount of space to do stuff, so I'm trying to do as much of it as I can and batch out 2 of them. It goes a lot quicker. But once you get kind of down to that finishing process, you can really only do one at a time, or at least I can in my current setup. So the pocket holes are done, and now we can lay them out. I'm choosing which side of these boards I want, forward and backward. Apply a little glue to this short piece. Glue on end grain like this isn't very strong, but personally I would rather have it than not. So I apply that glue. And then secure these pieces together. And now do the same on the other side. Now that those are done, we move over to the finger disintegrator 5000. And what I'm doing here is I'm just taking my router bit. I've got a 3/8 inch router bit, rabbeting bit in my router. And we'll run all these pieces over that bit. And that's cutting a groove in the back, so whenever we cut these panels that are going to go on the inside of this, they just sit right in, and it's nice and flush. So now it's time to cut the panels. Again, this is 5mm plywood. It's really, it's the cheapest plywood that there is. And I start by cutting it with my cordless circular saw, but I am having some problems with this thing. I've all but given up hope on this little cordless circular saw. It just doesn't have the power. The batteries don't work with it. They don't last very long. And I thought, surely, if it'll cut anything, it'll cut this plywood. It won't. It won't. I'm gonna limp through this cut with this battery and the other one I've got. Since I started this cut with the cordless saw, I want to finish it the same. So I get through and then I switch over to the corded saw. That's so much better. Like, why do I keep doing this to myself? I don't understand. I don't understand why I keep doing this to myself. Moving on. Now I can cut these panels down to their final size on the table saw. When you use a rabbiting bit and basically cut all the way around the inside of a shape, your corners are rounded. Just the nature of how things are. So you can either chisel those out and make them square, or you can round whatever you're gonna, if you're putting a panel in there, you can round the corners of that panel. And I find it easier to round those off with a sander. I did make a mistake and accidentally wear a hole in the center of my sanding disc. No problem, just do better next time. Well, after I accidentally wore a hole in the center of my random orbit sander, see if this fits. Yeah! I traced that radius on that flashlight thinking that might just be perfect. And it is. I love it. It's awesome. Perfect. 5 more. Now it's time for everyone's favorite thing, including mine, sanding. I'm just kidding. This is my least favorite part of any project. This might be one of my favorites, though. When you can apply stain to wood, I just love seeing, the color transformation is awesome. It's very rewarding once you get to this point. Now I am nearly running out of my special walnut stain. This is Megan's favorite. She uses it on nearly every one of our projects in the house. It's the Minwax Special Walnut. It's a nice brown, but it goes with a lot. But I am scraping the bottom of that can right now. Now apply the same stain to the panels. And you can see the difference in I mean, there's no liquid. That's all basically that paste that sits in the bottom of these cans that I'm applying now. It works. After that stain dries, we apply a coat of polyurethane, 2 coats of polyurethane. Once that sets up and cures, you know, it takes time I can apply a coat, let it dry, apply another coat. A day or so's passed. But now that everything's finished, time for the final assembly. We'll make 3 sides to our box. Take some little nails, tack these panels up to the inside. There's no point in gluing this. It's not structural and it wouldn't hold anyway with the stain already being applied, but looks great. We're almost done here. The sides of the box are held together with a bed frame bracket. If you've ever put together a bed, you have those brackets on the rails that just pop right into the legs. And for easy assembly and disassembly, we're using those. So I'll mock this thing up using my miter clamps to hold everything nice and square and upright in the shape it's going to be when it's put together. And we take these brackets and pre-drill and screw these brackets in. The last thing I'm going to do here is put just a little mark. I like using triangles. That way I know which side of this thing, which way's up and which side goes with the other. Now there's a left and a right to these brackets. You can't screw that up, but they might not work if you flip that front panel. It might not work very well. So, hey, mark it. It's easy. Maybe it's overkill, but it works out. The whole thing folds down into, what would that be? 3/4 plus 3/4, 1.5 inches plus 3/4. Ooh, wait a minute, 2 1/4. Yeah, 2 1/4. There we go. Whole thing folds down just barely over 2 1/4 inches tall. Sometimes I'm just amazed when something works out as good as it could. Sweet. All right, let's get it inside.
Well guys, that's all in this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. We also left a link to the Purple Sunflower, which is my business page on Facebook, if you're interested in buying one. And check out all my other stuff because there's a ton on there. Shirts, cups, anything you can imagine. See you next time.